All right, let's take a look at at this dude who likes to eat raw, spoiled, rotten brains. What he feels like about sun tanning.
The sun is truly amazing. From making you feel happy after going to the beach to the bronze skin of a Roman statue. And although that is what we all want, the importance of vitamin D3 is an understatement. It is involved in so many metabolic processes in the body. It is actually a hormone.
This dude doesn't necessarily really look tan. He looks jaundiced. And, I mean, the dude literally eats rotten meat, so I'm kind of like... kind of makes sense to me. I don't know.
There is a lot of history surrounding sun worshipping, from the Egyptian god of Sun Ra to Roman architects literally designing buildings oriented around how much sunlight comes into the building. Not too much history.
They didn't have electricity, you fucking idiot! What the
Why tan outside naked? It makes you feel really good. I did a video a few months ago talking about Frankie's ball grease. I was rubbing vitamin D3 liquid supplement on my testicles. It doesn't just increase your sex drive, it literally makes you feel horny on the spot.
You're rubbing your balls. Wait, so... This is an amazing product. An amazing product! I greased up my testicles with this thing, just sliding my hands all over my big supple fucking balls. And it totally made me horny. That's amazing!
I found out about this from a buddy who told me this story. His friend drilled a hole in the ceiling of his garage to let the sunlight in. Then he would sit in a chair with his balls exposed in the sunlight. And although this is a bit dramatic, some wacko-dacko stuff, there seems to be merit to it.
Hang on. The dude who literally eats rotten animal brains is saying this is wacko-dacko-wacko-hookah-wooku? Stay in your fucking lane.
Vitamin D3 lowers your cholesterol and is associated with slower aging through the lengthening of telomeres.
You're trying to tell me the sun is going to cause your telomeres to lengthen? No. You cannot make your telomeres lengthen. You just can't do that. That doesn't work. That's impossible.
The calcium RDA at 1,000 milligrams is impossible to achieve from any natural food. There is no food occurring in nature that would let you get a gram of calcium per day. You'd have a hard time even getting 10% of that. The reason it's so high is because we actually need vitamin D3 as well as other fat-soluble vitamins to absorb calcium.
So getting some sun allows your body to absorb calcium more than it absorbed calcium to begin with, but there's no food that can get you all that calcium anyway. So what kind of mushmouth bullshit is this? Like, I cannot wrap my head around how or what this argument is even supposed to be.
You literally can't absorb calcium without taking vitamin D3. In fact, you're actually going to start calcifying tissues in your body, from your blood vessels to your kidneys. That's why they have a calcification test. Excess calcium is probably one of the leading causes of heart disease right now.
Okay, we're going to look it up. All right, so to just kind of basically break this down, it's very, very simple. Vitamin D is essential in boosting the body's ability to absorb calcium, yes, but also, and almost more importantly, vitamin D is part of the process to make sure that we don't have excess calcium in our body, because excess calcium is a bad thing. It's a very bad thing. But even more so, what's even more toxic to the human body is too much vitamin D. Thankfully, our body has a vitamin D feedback loop that can just get rid of it and flush it out of our system. But if you understand the basics of chemistry and dosages, by its molecular weight, vitamin D is insanely toxic. Just, we've evolved biologically so that our bodies can handle it. This kid has no idea what he's talking about. Oh, and for fun, breast cancer, no evidence. Blood pressure, no evidence. Risk of death, metabolic outcomes, colorectal cancers, blah, blah, blah. All the shit pushed by, like, supplements. It's all bullshit.
This has to do with the UVB to UVA ratio in the sun. So at solar noon, the UVB literally might be 20 or 25%.
Can you imagine? Just sit back for a second and think about this. Can you imagine living your life so absolutely determined that there is a very specific, unknown way in which you can be mega healthy, healthier than all the rest of the other people? So healthy you wouldn't even believe it. My health, it's huge. It's huge. It's unbelievable. My health is in the top 10% to the top 90%. But you have to literally schedule every day according to some calculations you think you understand about astronomy and solar dynamics to then go out and let the sun shine on your fucking nuts. I do not understand humanity anymore. I don't get it.
We can speculate our ancestors were in the sun for about a quarter of the year. If you can say, all right, well, we had to be outside every day to gather food, then maybe a quarter of the year the UV was high.
Yeah, our ancestors also died in their 30s all the fucking time. Why do people make this fucking argument? It's stupid. How many times have people had to, well, our ancestors knew the best way to live. Yeah, dead by 31. Making sure you're knocking each other up as soon as, you're fucking 12 years old and hoping you don't get eaten by something or dying from exposure because you have access to literally nothing. Wow, so fucking healthy, so fucking woke. Fuck you.
There is no way we would be able to even be eating food without being in the sun. We are so out of touch with nature that something as crazy as avoiding being outside seems normal.
It's so out of touch with nature. Being in touch with nature isn't necessarily a good idea, Frank. You're the dude who ate the fucking rotten brains. You ate rotten brains. Something that can actually get you riddled with fucking parasites and you could die. That's getting in touch with fucking nature, dude. There's nothing more getting in touch with nature than E. coli. What the fuck? I don't know how you can't wrap your head around this. Did I ever actually watch the brain-eating episode on the Roundup? I really felt like I did. Did I never do that? I better go check that, actually. All right, so this is the infamous rotten meat video. This is why you should never listen to anything Frank Tufano has to say, because anybody stupid enough to do what he does in this video should not be telling you how to be healthy.
I fear no man, but that jar, it frightens me.
Your caterpillars above your eyes frighten the shit out of me, Frankie.
What's up, guys? Today I'm going to show you how to make some high meat. And high meat is pretty much rotten meat, and these rotten and fermented foods have taken a place in pretty much every indigenous society. And it's understandable that if we would have scavenged a corpse many years ago throughout our evolution, the corpse would have been laying around for a long period of time. And
yeah, thank fuck we don't have to eat corpses anymore. But in the mind of somebody who is so determined that they have understood the secrets of how to be healthy, the last resort is the most healthy one. 'Cause logic.
Aged foods, more often than not, replace fresh foods in our diet. So why are people so averse? People will have no problem eating some stinky cheese, but as soon as you bring up rotten meat into the conversation, they're like, ugh.
Maybe because you're not likely to get a bunch of fucking parasites from eating stinky cheese. Also, cheese is pasteurized. Now, if you're pasteurizing your fucking rotten meat, then maybe you might have an argument. But you don't, so you don't. Shut the fuck up.
Before you ever do something with the food, you want to make sure it's good quality initially before you waste your time on it.
That's raw calf liver. That's a little baby cow's liver. Raw.
Some of the best liver I've ever had. And when they say milk-fed veal liver, it has to be mother's milk fed, because formula fed will have an off taste to it.
Yeah, because you really want to be able to taste the little baby suffering. When you, like, I'm not a vegan. I eat meat, but like, Jesus Christ, dude. Wow.
And I want to cut it into bite-sized pieces. I don't want to be cutting stinky liver in a jar.
That's, I mean, at least he's thinking.
In the meantime, I got my little buddy Billy. So,
I guess I should probably make even a little bit of a, like kind of a content warning. This video gets really fucking gross. Just so you guys know. It really gets gross.
Billy has one thing we're after, and that is the brains, as we used to scavenge brains, and brains are the highest omega-3 food on the animal. The reason I really want to make these fermented is because I believe fermented animal brains are the reason we crave cheese now. Same with fermented marrow.
Oh my god.
I pay like $5 per head, so, you know, although it's not crazy expensive, it's definitely not cheap for just brain. I usually eat the tongue and the eyeballs too, so I get at least something out of it. We got our jar of lamb brains. That's going to sit on the counter. And we got our jar of veal liver. That's going to sit on the counter.
I mean, okay, I've seen this video before, and I know what's coming. And I'm not ready. I'm not ready.
Alright, so it's been about 2 weeks. Unfortunately, guys, this is not an exaggeration. Like, I was holding 3 jars last night. I was bringing them outside to air out, and I dropped the jar of brains.
Damn. But
thankfully it was in plastic because it smelled fucking terrible. It was horrid. It was horrid. I did, however, end up tasting all of them throughout the progression of the aging, so I can still talk about how it tasted. Here I have the meat and the liver, but I gotta put these back in a bag and we gotta do this outside because this is ridiculous. Like, the smell of these is horrendous. Oh, the smell of these is bad, but the brain was worse. The main difference between this and dry aging is the moisture level. It's also very important to note that I adjusted my stomach bacteria progressively to this meat. So every single day I had a few pieces of it, and now my stomach is used to the meat. So there's no worrying about, oh, am I gonna get sick from eating this? Obviously, if you let meat rot for 3 weeks and you eat it for the first time ever, you might have a problem.
you see, the key is you gotta fool your body into thinking it's totally normal to eat a bunch of rotten fucking meat, and then you're fine. You're totally fine. I mean, it's not like anybody in the world would not want to eat rotten meat. I mean, now that Frank, oh my God. Okay, look, Frank, now that you have tooled your stomach into being able to digest this raw meat, is that like all you're gonna eat now? And if not, if you're just gonna go back to eating like fresh stuff, why would you fucking bother? What's the point? What is actually the point of any of this? Why would anybody do this?
So I just brushed my teeth, so I really don't want to do this, but I'll do it for you guys. So before I taste the liver and the meat, we did do the brain tissue, and I was saying how I was really excited about aging the brain because, oh well, animal brains might have sat in the skull for weeks before we foraged for it, and I was like, well, I may be thinking it would taste like cheese, and I think it's been about a week and a half now. I tasted the brain 2 days ago, and it tasted like cheese, and it was putrid, guys.
Okay. He hasn't even tasted anything on camera yet, and just talking about it.
Guys, the brain in comparison to this liver and this meat, the brain was so much more rotten and putrid. That brain tasted like
cheese. It was like, it was really putrid. Like, the smell was horrendous. I tasted it. I was like, oh, this tastes like cheese. If you like cheese, you would really like this. So,
look, let me tell you something. You know, I dropped my damn lamb brains, my putrid-ass lamb brains that tasted like the cheese. I can't even tell you how mad I was that I dropped this rotten fucking lamb brains on the fucking ground. You know what? And that's just so fucking crazy, because after I spent all this time letting it go rotten and putrid, as I very specifically am describing, it was obviously ruined because I dropped it on the floor. What?
This first jar here, this is the liver. Oh, fuck, man.
So don't eat it. If it smells bad, don't eat it. Like, this guy goes off about this, like, biological adaptations, like how our ancestors used to do it. Do you know why things smell bad? Why things are automatically smelling bad to us? That how our senses in collaboration with our brain work? If it smells bad, we're not supposed to eat it. That is literally our brain and our senses telling us, don't put that in your fucking mouth. Don't put it in your mouth. That's what it means.
This is the veal liver, and it actually turned white. And I noticed this after about a day.
It's probably covered in bacteria.
The veal liver went from a pale pinkish color to a white color, and I'm assuming some of the bacteria that are changing the kind of protein and mineral and vitamin structure are having that effect.
Look at his fucking face. Look at his face. Just bask in this for a minute. What causes this to happen? What leads somebody down a path where they are this fucking stupid? I don't understand. What cosmic fucking forces had to come together to make someone this fucking dumb? I'm in awe.
Dip a piece of liver in vinegar, and that's what this tastes like. It just tastes like sour and acidic liver. This is the meat, the ribeye, 2-week-old ribeye that sat on my counter for 2 weeks. Oh, fuck. Holy shit. Oh, fuck. Guys, I'm not doing this again after this video. You know that, right?
Why would you do this now? Why would you ever do this to begin with? You're trying to tell us that it's healthy, and now you're like, I'm never going to do this again. Don't do it now.
Fuck. Oh my god.
Then don't. Just... I mean... Frank, are you finding any answers to those big questions in that jar? Are you? When you stare deep in there, do you find the answers?
The thing is, never tastes as bad as it smells. That's what I've learned with this high meat stuff. It's like pure rotten cheese. It's so fucking gross. I guess that's gonna be it for this video, guys. I know we can only speculate that the vitamin K amount is much higher, the vitamin K2 amount is much higher, which is very, very important for our health.
Oh, fuck off. Look, the world of hardcore, aggressive vegan YouTube channels is pretty wild. And I've had a couple of, like, kind of pseudo debates with some vegans before in the past. I actually really don't disagree with them that much. Not really. But whereas there were some really colorful characters in that, and I thought they were just completely crazy, they're nothing compared to the hardcore raw meat enthusiast carnivore YouTube crowd. These people are fucking insane. Actually crazy. These are crazy people who drink, like, raw blood and eat fermented brains. I do not understand. Look, if something smells bad, don't eat it. Don't eat it. Unless it's something that's specifically supposed to smell bad, like Gouda cheese or some shit. Like, I get that. I understand. But that's the biological adaptation. If it stinks, don't eat it. It's probably bad. It's probably gone bad. And the idea that somebody's going to try and sell you that there's this diet or this way of living that is so much better because it's so much more like our ancestors, it's always bullshit. Our ancestors didn't live that long. They were riddled with fucking disease and parasites and all sorts of shit. They had to breed as soon as they were able to just so that they could perpetuate their genetic line. These people are idiots. They're dumb. Don't listen to them. They're stupid. I'm so frustrated. I'm so worked up. I can't handle this anymore. Just to let you guys know, this whole thing was recorded live on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/RealJeffHoliday. So you should come and check me out over there sometime, because everybody in my chat right now is howling at me losing my shit over the man eating raw meat. And I got to torture them with footage of a man eating raw meat. So come and join the fun. I sure know how to sell it. From my family to yours, see you next time, everybody. Bye-bye. And that's another video we recorded